Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cavs Keepers. This will be episode number 5 of just a trip down memory lane. I'm going through some autograph cards that I've had from the 90s and the early 2000s. If you haven't listened to a video of this series before, just a little bit of background about me. I've been collecting autographs for over 30 years now. I live in Wisconsin. I grew up in Wisconsin, so a lot of my autographs are Brewers, Bucks, Packers, and Badgers. But when I was young, we traveled all over the U.S. to football training camps. So I have autographs from um, a number of different teams. Like so far, we've in the previous 4 sessions, we've seen a Jonathan Ogden card, Robert Smith, Thurman Thomas, Reggie White. Those are some of the bigger pulls we've had. So I got these all personally. Um, I haven't looked at these in probably 15 to 20 years. So I'm just kind of spending some quarantine time going through my cards, and so I thought I'd share. So if you like, um, give me a comment, give me a like, subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting more and more videos. I'm getting back into cards a little bit. So subscribe to my channel if you're interested in following my journey of previous cards and then back into the card world. So without further ado, I'll just kind of pull a stack out here and we'll see what we get. Like I said, I have not looked at these cards in a long time. So I do have some kind of cool stories from some of these guys, but we'll see. So first up here, we have Terrence Mathis. He was a wide receiver for the Falcons. I believe he had like 1 or 2 really, really good years. Um, and then kind of flamed out. Yeah, 94 and 95. 94 he had 111 catches. Wow. Next up we have Aubrey Matthews, a wide receiver for the Lions. Then we have long-time lineman Bruce Matthews of the Houston Oilers. Derek Mays of the Green Bay Packers. I always had such high hopes for him, but he never really lived up to expectations. Here we have a Super Bowl card of Derek Mays and who's the other guy? Gary Brown. Dual signed there. Nice card. Some more Derek Mays. I always like these Metal Universe cards and they still kind of look cool, but another metal card, and I have no idea. Kivusama Mays, a linebacker for the Vikings. Another metal card here of Tyrus McCloud, linebacker for the Ravens. Andy McCullum, a lineman with the Saints. Ooh, longtime Viking Randall McDaniel. Another Randall McDaniel. Terry McDaniel. DB with Oakland, or that time I believe Los Angeles Raiders. Linebacker Ricardo McDonald. So I got him when he was with Cincinnati. We were at Cincinnati training camp, and there was a story going around training camp when we were down there that one of the days that we were there, he actually broke someone's face mask. He hit them so hard. It was a metal face mask and he put a big dent in it. I don't know if that was true, but for some reason that just sticks in my head. Ricardo McDonald. Here he is in his Pitt uniform. Now we have Lenny McGill. Yep, Lenny McGill, DB for the Packers. Chester McLaughlin. He was a long-time defensive tackle. He started off in Oakland and then he played in Kansas City for a long time. Chester McLaughlin. And we have defensive end for the Packers, Keith McKenzie. Then we have DB for the Packers, one of my favorites back in the day, Mike McKenzie. I loved Mike McKenzie. He was really the first person that I can remember that had the dreadlocks hanging out of the helmet. And I thought that was so neat. Mike McKenzie. Ooh, here we go. The Animal, Steve McMichael. Longtime Chicago Bear. And then he played, I believe, one season with the Packers. Mark McMillan, DB with Chiefs. Next one here, rest in peace. Steve McNair of Alcorn State. I always like Steve McNair. Ryan McNeil. I like his autograph. He just writes Ryan 47. Rondell Mealy, a running back for the Packers, who was probably with us for one season, if that. Rondell Mealy. Mike Merriweather. You can barely see these autographs. God bless Mike Merriweather. Here we go. Pete Metzelaars, long-time tight end. Carolina, Buffalo. I think he played for the New York Jets as well. John Michael, tackle with the Packers. Romans 8:28, I believe he puts. John Michael. It's a first-round pick for us a while back. John Michael. Glenn Milburn. I believe he was a pretty darn good return specialist with Detroit and Denver. Corey Miller, outside linebacker with the Giants. Jim Miller, QB. Here with Pittsburgh, but I believe he played for the Bears as well. Then we have Ernie Mills, wide receiver with the Saints. John Henry Mills. I have a pair of his gloves somewhere. I think he was a linebacker, but I believe he was primarily special teams, maybe even a long snapper at one point in time. Kevin Minifield, the Bears. Barry Minter with the Bears. Another Barry Minter. Notre Dame fans, Seattle fans, Green Bay fans. Remember this name? Rick Meyer. I believe he played for Chicago too. I believe he was the number 3 pick in the draft. Number 2 overall. Another bust. Rick Meyer. Holy buckets, I have a lot of Rick Myers. Rick Meyer. Basil Mitchell. How many Packer fans remember Basil Mitchell? Not I, that's for sure. All right, who do we have here? Oh, must be in Basil Mitchell, just on a Packers card. Another Basil Mitchell. How about Brian Mitchell? Longtime running back with Redskins. Scott Mitchell, quarterback, journeyman, long time with Detroit. Alex Molden, I believe he was a first round pick with the Saints back in the day. Another Alex Molden, another Alex Molden, and finally Alex Molden. Greg Montgomery, punter. Here's a random NBA card. Eric Montross. Hall of Famer Warren Moon with Minnesota. Warren Moon. Seattle. Another Warren Moon. Ooh, here's a good one. Herman Moore. He held the NFL record for a while for most catches in a season. So my story for Herman Moore is we were up at the Detroit Lions training camp, and we knew that he drove this little Porsche, and we saw it leave, and we were actually staying at the same hotel as the Lions. So we saw it leave. We were going to race back to the hotel and try to get him at the hotel. But just as we were ready to exit the parking lot, his Porsche pulled in the entrance where we were exiting. My friend and I, our doors flew open, and we chased this Porsche through the parking lot of the Silverdome for at least a half a mile. He eventually stopped and signed for us, but my mom had to get out of the car and close the doors because we just jumped out of the car and started chasing him down. Here's Ron. Oh, no. Sticking. We have Jared Moore and Ron Moore. Anthony Morgan, receiver at the Bears and Packers. Anthony Morgan. We hit on some Bam Morrises in the last video as well. Bam Morris. Get another stack and finish off this box here. So we have Bill Moss, defensive end with the Chiefs. Eric Malum, looks like a center for Cal. I have no idea who he played with in the NFL. The Bears. Don Mikowski. Packers fans are very thankful for his injury. Sorry, Magic, but that injury gave us Brett Favre. Van Malone, DB with Detroit. Mike Mamula, I believe he was like the number 4. It's a top 5 pick. In the draft. It was 95, but he's a high draft pick who never really panned out. I believe this is Kevin Mangum. John Mangum. It's a cool looking card right there. Another John Mangum. Brian Manning, a wide receiver for the Dolphins. Anthony Marshall. It's another guy for the Packers who I thought was going to be great, but ended up flopping. think I'm not positive of this, but I think he has one of the, never mind, I'm not going to say that. Terrence Marshall, linebacker out of Oklahoma. But I think he has one of the lowest Wonderlic scores of all time. Here's a card signed by 3 Packers. We have Bao Zhu. He was a safety with the Packers. David Martin, who was a tight end, and Torrance Marshall, linebacker. Another Torrance Marshall. Another Torrance Marshall in Oklahoma. Another the same quad or tri-signed card. Then we move into David Martin, tight end. Wayne Martin, defensive tackle with the Saints. Another Wayne Martin. Wayne Martin. Here's a random baseball. Hall of Famer, Edgar Martinez. That card has seen its better days. Edgar Martinez. So we got these when I was young. I was at spring training, and it was our last day at spring training, and their equipment guys came out and just started chucking stuff over the fence. So they had bats and batting gloves and cards. It was so we got like a Griffey signed card, a couple Edgar Martinez signed cards, and a pair of Jay Buhner batting gloves. That's a bone on the strap. And then right after that, Alex Rodriguez came out, and he had a stack of cards with him and signed cards and passed them out. It's a pretty darn good team. Griffey, Rodriguez, and Martinez. Lonnie Martz. Russell, Maryland. Longtime Cowboy. He also played for the Packers. Russell, Maryland. And then Terrence Mathis of the Falcons. I really like this card. It's action packed, so it's got the bubble to it. Looks nice. But anyways, one box down, another box at least that I can see to go. So thanks again for watching Cavs Keepers. This is part 5 of my series. So if this kind of goes the same for the second box, I'll have another 5 parts to it. But again, leave a like, a comment, subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.